It is the duty of the pastor once a year to report on the finances of the parish to the people and give you a financial report. And I usually do it in November, and today is the Sunday that I will be doing that. And what I wanted to show you was, first of all, we have put together, with the help of the Finance Committee, the financial report for the year, for the fiscal year 2025. It's in your bulletin today. So when you take it home, you'll see it. And on the reverse is the comparison to the year 2024. So you can compare the years one to the other. And this year, as the Finance Committee met beforehand to talk about giving the report to the parish, they said to me, "Father, do you think it might be okay for one of us to speak to the people rather than you? Maybe it would be helpful for the people to have a parishioner speak to a parishioner rather than pastor to the people." And I said, yes, I think that's a good idea. So they volunteered to do so, and we planned everything. And today I'm very happy to invite one of the members of our Finance Committee, Al Donato, to come and speak with you. And he'll be accompanied by one of our trustees, Dominic Filippone. So any other members here that are going to join them? Just the two of them today? Okay. So I'm going to turn it over. And they also asked me if I would excuse myself while they speak with you so they could talk with you frankly. So I'm going to go sit in the sacristy, and they'll knock on the door and let me know when they're ready for me to come out of hiding. Okay. So men, thank you.
First of all, myself and Dominic, we want to thank Father for letting us speak. Just so you know, Father did not ask us to speak on his behalf. At the Finance Committee meeting, we voted him down, that we voted against him. We did not want him to speak. Mainly because we wanted to dispel the myth that as a pastor coming here, he didn't come in here and start spending money like a drunken sailor, which a lot of people have been saying outside this parish. Okay? I mean, first thing, the artwork we have here. Okay? Everybody says, oh, first thing he did was move the cross and put up this big piece of artwork. That must have cost a fortune. If you notice, there's a plaque underneath it. That artwork didn't cost us a penny. That was donated. Okay? So we could dispel that myth. Also, first time he came in here, all of a sudden, we had to replace a roof. Unfortunately, when Father C came in here, he was summarily left with a potential disaster dumped on his lap. The former pastors, all they did was Band-Aid repair the parish, just to forestall the inevitable that had to get done. Okay? The roof had to get redone, and rather than just do a patchwork job, Father saw that from a separate fund that was only used for renovation and construction, he was able to do that. And so he took care of it for us. If you also notice, no more dividers, because Father saw that the new part of the church needed to be insulated properly so we wouldn't freeze during the winter here and have to close half the wing off. He took care of that instead of Band-Aid it. Right now, with our budget, and you'll see in your bulletin, we are in the red for $69,000. Okay? Now, year to year, every time we had the budget, Father and us have always found a way to balance it out at the end of the year. For the past couple of years, we've been having to dip into the parish savings. Now, there's a decent chunk in the parish savings, but it's been taking a hit, and it cannot keep going on. I just want to go over a couple of things, just to give you an idea of what we're trying to do to make ends meet here, and what some of the expenses are that are literally crippling this parish. Every time it snows, 3 inches or more, by law, we have to plow the parking lot here. Every time we plow, it's $1,000, okay, for plowing and salting. Again, if there's any parishioner who plows and salts and wants to give a couple hours of his time to do our parking lot, that would save us $1,000 every snowfall. Please go to the rectory and talk to Father there. He would be more than happy to accommodate you and even offer something, you know, to offset the cost of maybe the salt that you would use. Okay? Recently, we were inspected by the fire department. And guess what? The fire safety system in the church here is outdated. And it's been outdated for quite a while. This is something that we must update and replace. The cost of just the church alone for the fire system is $12,000. Okay? We're not even talking about the hall and Ark and the Dove, which thankfully they didn't do the inspection yet, but we know we're going to have to do that too. On the plus side, we've been using parishioners here for as much as we can on a volunteer basis. If you notice outside during the seasons, the plantings and the manicuring in the parish, beautiful plants and flowers are out here. That's all done by our parishioners, by you guys, okay? And I just want to let you guys know that all those flowers and stuff that are planted there, a good portion of that, Father never receives a bill for. The parishioners not only do the work, they give the sweat equity, but they're also buying the plants and putting it there. So if you know anybody who helps out around the grounds, cleaning the grounds and stuff, that's not the cemetery crew. That's a whole separate entity. Thank you, parishioners, for that. Also, we have to employ an armed guard service to bring our deposits to the banks every week. What Father has done, he's reached out to our parishioners who have carrier permits, who are able to carry guns legally, who are either active police or retired. And they have been taking the bank deposits for us. In that alone, Father's able to save over $5,000 a year just on deposit services for armed services. Now, one of the points of contention, our supermarket cards. I hope everybody realizes the potential of these cards. When you buy a card outside, we say 5% comes back to the church. That 5% doesn't come out of your card. The church has an agreement with the major supermarkets that we shop at, Acme, Stop and Shop. When we use the cards, the head corporation sends us a check for 5% of everything that is spent from our parish cards. So the average shopping cart is $100 easily. If every parishioner, I won't even say every parishioner, if more than half of every parishioner comes in here would buy a card, I wouldn't have to be up here. We'd be in the black, because those cards would give us enough money. Okay? We need to use them. Please utilize them. Not only, you don't have to buy them just at the back of the church on Sunday. They're available at the rectory. They're available up at the CCD office. You drop your kids off for class or there. You could buy your cards there while you're dropping your kids off. Okay? The Christmas and Easter mailings that we put out every year, just in paper and postage alone, for each holiday is over $1,000. Father C decided he's no longer going to do that. He is going to send out all the notices through flock notes. Okay? That'll save man hours, and it'll save us $2,000 a year there. Now, our wonderful second collections. Our second collections, when we get notices from the Archdiocese for the clergy in Africa, for the hurricane victims here, typhoon victims there, we used to do a second collection. We're just putting if you notice, we just put a basket in the back now, and we say, whatever you can do to help, please do. The second collections that we do to offset the deficit spending is because the envelopes are going down on our first collections. I'll give you a little bit more information on that now. Well, I might as well do it now. We have the automatic online giving. A lot of parishioners do. And that has been a God save. The regular envelopes that come in every week here on average is only $5 an envelope. $5 in 1960 may have been enough. We have to increase the envelope count coming in. Okay, and on that point with the envelope count, there's rumors going around among the other parishes in here that this parish is dying, that our parishioner count is going down. Well, I'm very happy to tell everybody here, we are not dying. Our parish count, our parishioner count has gone up, and it's gone up very healthily. I mean, I see a lot of young families here that are new, okay, and I hate to feel like I'm browbeating people. Our parish count has gone up. Our envelope count has gone down. Just an example. We'll keep the pennies alive. I know they're banning the pennies. If everybody would throw 71 cents a day in a jar, and at the end of the week, throw it in the envelope and bring it here, that would effectively double that envelope to $10. If our envelope count went from an average of $5 an envelope to $10 an envelope, I don't have to get up here anymore. We'd be in the black. It's very simple. So could you imagine between the supermarket cards and the envelopes? The supermarket cards are free money. The envelopes we're obliged to give to support our parish. Okay? We not only would be in the black with both of them, this would be a profitable parish where we'd be able to do a lot more stuff. Now, touchy subject. The Cardinals' appeal. We have our regular parishioners who give regularly, and they give well to the Cardinals' appeal. And every year, by hook or by crook, you guys have made the goal. Father C has had an active, very active conversation with the Archdiocese, telling them to lower our goals. The goal for the parish council has been crippling us, literally crippling us, because if you're going to give it to the Cardinals' appeal, it doesn't show up in our local offerings at parish level. This went on, it's been going on. He just finished what I would call a high-volume, low-profit conversation with the Archdiocese, and they said, they'll take care of it, they'll do something. Lo and behold, they sent us a letter last week about the goal for Cardinals' appeal this coming year. They raised us $5,000. Needless to say, Father Carrozza was livid. He called them, and he told them, I've had it. From now on, instead of updates every week on the Cardinals' appeal, when the Cardinals' letter comes in, he will be reading it once here. He'll let you know that Cardinals' appeal starts, the envelopes are in the pews, and that's all you're going to hear. Whatever we give, we give. We are no longer guaranteeing to make our goal, because that appeal is crippling this parish, and charity begins at home. Okay? Now, we all pay taxes every year. And everybody thinks the church is like, oh, they don't pay taxes. Well, they don't pay taxes, but they get assessed by the Archdiocese. That's their tax every year. The tax on this church and parish every year is $93,000. So you could see why Father Carrozza is livid between that and then we get hit with the Cardinals' appeal. We're devastated. We have nothing left, and we have to dip into the savings. Now, we could do like other parishes and appeal to the Archdiocese to help us with funding from them. Let me tell you what would happen if that goes on. The Archdiocese will come in here with their hatchet men, and I literally say hatchet men because that's what they're going to do. Isn't it nice? We had music today at the Mass. The 8 o'clock Mass had no music because the organist and the cantor happened to be sick. And everybody was looking at each other saying, this is awkward. Well, if they come in from the Archdiocese, our music ministry is dead. They're going to cut it out. Another thing they're going to do, we're going to become a one-priest parish, so you could tell Father Peter goodbye. There won't be a salary for him. Now, when we had Father Pat here, that was all fine and well. Because he was a retired priest, that was free money. His money came from a separate funding. There's no retired priests to bring in here. It would only be Father C. And not only would it mean a one-priest parish, that would mean cutting back on services for funeral services, house calls, hospital calls, and maybe even our mass schedule. Okay, these are all things that, they're going to come in and do. My baby, the coffee house. Everybody enjoys coming up on the second Sunday, having bagels, coffee, and some other stuff I put out there. Kiss that all goodbye. All of that comes out of our budgeting and funding. Okay? And believe me, I shop and do a hard shop to make sure I don't spend more than I have to. Some people say, oh, well, you make money from the cemetery. The cemetery is a separate corporation from the church. So yeah, we make a little money from it, but they have to sustain themselves. The only money maker we have right now is Ark and the Dove. If you see any of the teachers up there, or if there are any teachers here now at Mass, thank God for you guys, and thank you. Because Ark and the Dove is at capacity, which is another telling that our parish is growing and not decreasing. Just to close, and I don't want to beleaguer it any more than we have to, I just want to make sure everybody knows. You hear anybody out on the street saying, oh, Father C spends this, he spends that, spends the other. He's spending from funds that are allocated and that are given for renovations to do. All the renovations that were done in here, these were all pre-allocated money that was sitting there that couldn't be used for anything else except renovations for this here. So you can't say he was using our outside money for that. You hear anybody talking about Father C on the outside, that he's spending money like a drunken sailor, and the parish is dying, and this, and that, and the other. You know what? Tell them, get their facts straight, and why don't they come here and talk to somebody on the finance committee or talk to Father C? He was saddled with quite a load to rectify here. And he's doing all he can with what's going on. You could have seen how nervous he was this morning because he didn't know what I was going to say today. And there's no notes on this. I'm talking to my heart, parishioner to parishioner, to you guys, because I see what's going on now that I'm more and more active within the parish. We need your help. If you love your parish here, you want to see what we're doing here, you want to keep seeing what's going on here, please think hard. Use your supermarket cards. Buy them. Put them to use. That's free money back to us. One other thing that we're looking at, and I'll shut up, I'll get off the podium here. The back property of the cemetery, we have wooded lands here. We're looking into leasing out some minimal amount of land there, putting up a cell tower. Granted, we'll make sure it's camouflaged so it looks like a tree, so it don't look as ugly as it is. But Father was finding out from one of his fellow pastors who did the same thing. If we lease that property for a cell tower or a solar battery station, storage station, we're looking at possibly $80,000 a year free revenue for doing nothing, just leasing that property. So just letting you know, we are actively looking for ways to make money and just not hitting you guys in the pocket. Okay? If anybody works for Verizon or one of the cell phone contractors or for Central Hudson who has information about this, we would love to hear from you so we know what we're doing when we're approaching people about this. So please, come talk to us over in the rectory, get on the phone, give Father C a call, let him know you have information for him. Okay? With that, again, I just can't reiterate enough. Please, please, if you love this parish here and you love what we're doing, please think about helping support us more. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry I have to talk like this, but it was felt that we needed to talk to you guys one-on-one and not just make it look like the pastor was just trying to hit you up for money. Okay? Thank you. Don't applaud. This isn't a time to applaud. If you want to applaud, show your applause by your envelopes. Thank you.
Well, it's better that they gave you applause than threw tomatoes at you. And I know we've taken extra time this morning, and I thank you for your patience, but there's one more announcement I have to make, and it's a very happy one. One of our altar servers who was newly installed is serving her for her very first time today, Evelyn Bell, and I don't think you would know that it was her first time. She did a great job. Here's to many years of serving, Evelyn. You know, some parishes have absolutely no altar servers at all. We have 45. And I've always thought when you have that many young people involved as we have here, we're doing something right as a family, as a parish. So congratulations to all of you, and especially our young people. Please stand.